Hey, 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 what's good, fam? Welcome to the 100th episode of Tuesdays with Tawana. I am so excited. I got a little hand clap in the background. Yes. Episode 100. We made it. We did it. We here since 2015. Y'all have been rocking with me and I am so grateful. So grateful. I am Dr. Tad, Reverend T, your host and your curator for Tuesdays with Tawana. I am just elated right now to celebrate with you and to enjoy this moment as we come together to celebrate. Got a few announcements and a few giveaways and just a reminder, this is how we roll. This is how we do. I love being a black woman. I love being in this space. As you can see, I'm in a different environment because I have the blessed opportunity to be with my family and with my new grandson. So if you hear him, this is life. This is what we do, building community one episode at a time. So, if you hear baby Eli, I don't know if his mama will let me bring him on the screen, but we'll see if she'll let me make that happen. Tammy, what's good, my beautiful niece? Good to see you. Thank you for the congrats. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, so we have a lot to talk about and a little bit of time to talk about it. So let's get it popping. What I do want to start with, one is, this is the 100th episode of Tuesdays with Tawana, and the journey that I have taken from episode number one. Tell Jawiwi I said thank you, and don't tell her I called her by my private nickname. By my private nickname for her on Tuesdays with Tawana. So journeying from 1 to 100, we made it, and my first unofficial moment of going live on. She heard me. I love you, Jarita, my bunny. The challenge. The first time I went on live, I had no idea that about podcasting. I really wasn't crazy about going live on Facebook. It just wasn't my thing. And then the more I did it, the more people started to talk about it, started to encourage me to keep going and to keep doing it. And then it turned into, sporadic lives. And then we moved into this platform of Tuesdays with Tawana. My brother Corey, who is one of my biggest supporters, and although he's my little brother, he provides so much mentoring and so much encouragement and support. He showed me how to move into the podcast platform. My niece, Tamika, who is definitely working on getting more black voices in the podcast scene. So she was very instrumental with guiding me and helping me with how to make this happen, and just being myself. We don't really do topics. I don't record in advance. I go where the energy is leading me. I go where, there are things impacting the black community. I speak about things that are antithetical to whiteness and white supremacy and oppression and marginalization. I speak to those who are on the margins with me, from the LGBTQIA plus community, our indigenous Native American brothers and sisters, or beloveds, our BIPOC beloveds, but centering black women who unfortunately do not have access to health care and are at a 41% mortality rate when it comes to breast cancer. And we are, with sexual violence and domestic violence, we're at one of the higher numbers, reportable numbers. So we center Black women because when you center and you heal Black women, then other communities in the world can be saved and can be healed. So for today, we are just going to celebrate and to enjoy this moment together. And one thing, I'm going to ask the question, what is your or what was your favorite memory of Tuesdays with Tawana? And if for those who answer the question will get a surprise. So that's a part of the surprise piece of this episode. But one of my favorite episodes was what led me to do Tuesdays with Tawana, building a community one episode at a time, was when I was living in Denver, and we were having some, as we are across the country, and still having challenges with law enforcement. And law enforcement and another organization decided to plan a basketball game that included young people, and so it was going to be law enforcement playing against the young people, and we protested that game, and we actually shut it down. It didn't happen because our argument was, of course, we want to build relations with community, and law enforcement was not a part of community. They were not about building up our community. They were not about building up our beloveds. We had just lost Elijah McClain, Jesse Hernandez, a few others. Sorry, my brain just won't recall the names, but we lost many people at the hands of law enforcement, and that was only in Denver, and we lost folk across the country. So we said, hell no, we're not playing a game. Thank you, Christina, my beloved. We will definitely talk soon. I'm so excited about big things happening in your life. So we weren't having it, because then you're asking for underdeveloped minds, right? Just because they're teenagers, and their reasoning and all of that, and their maturity level, it hasn't reached that point yet where they can discern and make decisions about when to play with the cops and when not to play with the cops, or when to have, this fun, friendly relationship until it's not so fun and friendly. So that was my first video, and I was, very truthful and honest, and really spoke about the challenge that I had with a basketball game with police officers and with our babies, our beloveds. So we protested. I have a beautiful picture of my comrades and co-conspirators, and we standing there with our fists up in the air, and I will never forget that day. We marched around the facility where the basketball game was supposed to happen, and no one showed up. They sent a representative to sit in front of the gym to just let everybody know that the game was canceled. So hey, Tony, good to see you, beloved. So that was my favorite episode. So if you want to pop into the chat an episode that stood out for you, or one of your favorite moments during Tuesdays with Tawana, feel free to pop it in the chat, and I will insert your voice into this narrative. And for all those who share a story or an experience or something, maybe even taking it a step further, after TWT, we talk about community, we talk about building community. What did that episode encourage you to do? Was it, inspiring? Was it, it made you reflect and go through a level of discernment about some decisions or actions that you had to take after watching Tuesdays with Tawana? Hey, brother. So good to see you. Always so supportive. I love you so much. So during this 100th episode celebration, pop in the chat your favorite moment, or maybe a moment that caused you to do something and to take some action, because this is what Tuesdays with Tawana is all about. It's building community one episode at a time. So as we wait for people to think about that and to pop it in the chat, I would love to. I'm gonna try my very best to unveil something. So just give me a minute. Well, let's see. Hold on. Christina has something in the chat. Mine was building beloved community, which made me more intentional about what I do and to become more active with my community. Thank you, Christina. Thank you. That's very important for especially for a Black woman, to care for self, to rest, to honor, and have insert dignity into a narrative that often tries to demean us, and to be able to go out with that strength and that spiritual prowess and that divine prowess and intellectual prowess and all of that, and be a voice in your community. So thank you for sharing that. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mr. Alston, my buddy? Doing his thing, single father. Shout out to the single fathers out there that are doing it. Shout out to single parenting, period. That's a whole episode in and of itself, but it's definitely, it takes a village. So it is my prayer that these defined single parents have a village to support them and to to help them get through the process of raising a child. So I want to show this, and this is the home page to my website. As you can see, it's different things on here. Work with me, get to know me. It describes me perfectly: a womanist, thought-provoker, speaker, preacher, and community leader, and justice advocate for all. So you get a sneak peek. It's not unveiled yet, because I need all of you on this line, on this podcast. When you put in www.thedrtad.com, sign up so that when it is fully published to the public, you will be the first to know about it. So that's what we need you to do right now. Let's see. My dear brother Alan said, hey there, I miss you. Well, I miss you too. I miss Denver. I miss my people in Denver. Christina's giving me a yes for the for the website. So we go down, and here is a picture, one of my favorite pictures. It was my 50th birthday party when my children threw a surprise birthday party for me, and I was just overjoyed. My bio is here. So it definitely centers Black joy, even in the midst of healing from my diagnosis. Of course, all of y'all are featured here on Tuesdays with Tawana, because we're going to keep it going. Hopefully we'll make it to the 200th episode. Here are organizations that are near and dear to my heart. Of course, Soul to Soul Sisters. After 7 years, a nonprofit surviving and thriving and healing and truly doing the work personally, professionally, communally. So shout out to Soul Sisters and all my beloveds. I am honored to be called co-founder. I am honored for the work that Soul to Soul Sisters is doing. Carrie's Touch, breast cancer support organization, research organization, policy and engagement. So they're doing a lot to reduce, to minimize, to dismantle, to obliterate the 41% mortality rate. And of course, Healing the Healers, where I was honored to be a moderator for the Telly Award winning Healing the Healers domestic violence piece. And I had beautiful people on like Reverend Dr. Regina Groff and Reverend Benita Chase Darby and others that were on the series. So if you go on to healingthehealers.org and click on domestic violence, you can always purchase the series and watch the series. You know, domestic violence is beyond October. So Tanisha, thank you, beautiful. You so inspire me. Listen, if y'all are not connected to Tanisha on Instagram, this amazing beloved posts like inspirational, you know, she'll call it like Wonderful Wednesday, or I'm just making that up. She's very much more creative than that. And on Instagram, every day it's just a beautiful post, and it's all rooted in, you know, hope and charging us with loving ourselves and honoring ourselves. And this is through her makeup artistry. She is divinely talented. So please make sure you follow Tanisha on Instagram and on Facebook, because she is just absolutely awesome. Yes, see, I said it before I clicked it. Yes, she's on Facebook as well. So please, please, please follow her. Let's see what else is on my website. So this is still a work in progress. I am a trainer for the Center of Equity and Excellence. If y'all don't know the Dr. Rosemary Allen, please go on to her website, rosemarieallen.com. She is killing the game with equity and early childhood education and ending suspensions. I had an opportunity to speak at the 17th annual conference, Crimes Against Women, talking about domestic violence and religion. And talking about healing the healers. So here's a few quotes. They'll go by pretty fast. We're still working on some stuff, but I have some quotes from Dr. Falami, Reverend Dr. Anne-Marie Benson, Reverend Dr. Melva Sampson with Pink Robe Chronicles. If you don't know about Pink Robe Chronicles, tap in on Facebook at 8 o'clock in the morning. Can you tell I'm just in a celebratory mode? Because all of these people, these black beloveds, are doing their thing. I have quotes from Tanisha Alexander, "You are hope, you are love, you are strength." I have a quote from Reverend Carolyn Havisham. From Dr. Rosemary Allen. So it just shows some testimonies. Dr. Reverend Mike Moran, who was very instrumental in the beginnings of Soul to Soul Sisters. So this is the website. So of course here you would subscribe, but right now what you would see to subscribe is the opening page, the opening page will just give you, a space to register. You won't see all this yet. So this is my unveiling and my surprise. Website is coming. It talks about the work that I do, whether it's advocacy, whether it's training, whether it's writing ebooks, whether it's anti-Black racism work. I'll do a little bit of DEI, but DEI I'm still working on, and we'll probably do a podcast about that, about how we need to control that narrative If white people are controlling that narrative, is it truly diversity, inclusion, equity, and inclusion? Because we have to state what we need, and we need to call in people and identify the people and the organizations and the communities that we serve, and make sure that the leadership is representative of who we are serving. So, and oftentimes, unfortunately, white people can't see that, because if they're not centered, they don't truly understand. And this is just not my opinion. This is from me doing research, for talking to thousands, as a result of talking to thousands of white people, of the challenges of white supremacy, white power, white thought, and it oftentimes being colonized, those of color, black, indigenous people of color being colonized to have white thought. They say all skin folk and kinfolk. Well, we even have a larger definition for it now, where you have been colonized to have this white linear thought, and we are full, we are whole, we operate in fullness, we use our body to communicate, our verbal language, our silence when we choose to be silent and not silenced. We have an amazing creative prowess. Was watching Maya Angelou's speech at Spelman, and she was talking about, say if there were 40 million black people in the United States, they are still shocked that even one of us is still alive, because every day something has tried to kill us and has failed. So let's go to the chat. Yeah, I am, because you are musings of TWT. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Tony. So I wanted to unveil the website. The website will be updated. You'll be receiving monthly newsletters about what is going on in the world, or what's happening with me. There will be domestic violence resources. There will just be information to, again, build community, so that we are not judgmental of one another, that we have this authentic curiosity about one another, where we want to get to know each other. We want to get to know what brought you here, what brings you to this language, to this stance, or this thought process, or this this worldview. And understanding that everybody starts off at the level of humanizing each other. Everyone, we are human beings, and then we build on what informs us, whether it's our ancestors or those who are still with us, our griots, what informs us to do the things that we do to move forward. So I hope you like the website. I hope that you will be able to, tap into it and enjoy it. Again, if you pop in the chat, anything that, like Tanisha just said, she, said the musings of TWT. I often talk about Ubuntu, often, because we are. We have made it to this 100th episode because we are. And I have another giveaway. So first of all, if you put in the chat your favorite moment from TWT, so Tony will be receiving a gift, because she, the Ubuntu resonated with her as a musing of TWT. So Tony, expect your gift. But also, if you do not have my ebook, You Are Not Your Diagnosis, I am, for all those who are on this line who do not have my book already, I am giving it to you for free. So if you pop in the chat, need book, if you have the book and you need another one to send to someone, just put need book in the chat. For those who are listening later, My email address is Tawana, TAWANA, at the Dr. Tad, THEDRTAD.com. And you can always email me and say, I listened to your podcast. I want your You Are Not Your Diagnosis book. Please email it to me because it's an ebook. So all I need is your email address. So if you email me, I'll have your address. So, yeah. So just put need book in the chat. So the announcement was the unveiling of my website. Shout out to Providence Designs, to Lauren. Lauren is an amazing graphic artist and web designer. She did my logo, my Dr. Tad logo, and she did my website. And all I had to tell her, she knows who I am and she knows what I stand for. So I sent her bits and pieces of information, and then she creatively put this all together. So including, having the quotes on there and having, snippets of my teaching experience or my training experience, my advocacy work, my preaching, because I still preach. And so she has all that on there. So you'll learn so much more about me and what I am doing. I think my dissertation will be available somewhere on the page. So I got you, Christina. You need the book. Alan said we need you to come for a Yes reunion. You helped a lot of us in ways you'll never know. For real, we stay praying for you and the family on Shorter's prayer line. I am so grateful, and I will never forget, Alan, when before my whole family moved to Denver, Alan said to my children, "Thank you for sharing your mother with us." And that was so powerful, and I will never forget that moment, because we often forget that living a life of service, that you still have a family to tend to. And sometimes it's hard to balance that out because the world is just bananas and just crazy. So those of you who need a book, pop it in the chat. Those of you, if you happen to think of your favorite memory of TWT, pop it in the chat. So those who share their memory will get a gift. And those who need the book, I will send it to you via email. So as always, during this 100th episode, I gotta mention, the domestic violence hotline. If you are in trouble right now, you call 911. But if you need help, or if you know of someone that needs help, you can call the domestic violence hotline to get guidance, because the worst thing you can do is just to tell someone to pick up and leave, or begin to further victimize them by saying, that couldn't be me, and I wouldn't let this, it's not about you. It's about making sure that we live and we don't die at the hands of these systemic ills. Also, the suicide prevention lifeline, those 3 numbers, 988. Call the suicide prevention hotline if you are having suicidal ideations, so that they can talk with you and walk with you and journey with you. So with that being said, we are going to... Yeah, we are going to close out this segment, this 100th episode of This Black Woman on a podcast since 2015, episode number 100, and you get to celebrate with me. And I am so, so grateful. So I will be sharing gifts, and just as a part of community, just sharing. And my mentor and bestie, Charles Dorsey, teaches this all the time. As much as he does, or as much as he makes, or whatever, he always wants to be in a posture of giving, no matter what. Whether he receives a lot, a little, he's always in a posture of giving, and that is a priority for him. and that now has become an important piece for me. For instance, I contributed to, I don't know if you've seen Sinbad's post, but if you follow him on Instagram, he released some pictures of his healing journey due to some blood clots in his brain, and it's taken a financial toll on his family, and he has made us laugh for years. 40 years now. So if you can contribute to that, if you can contribute to Carrie's Touch and Soul to Soul Sisters for the work that they do, be a recurring contributor, even if it's $20 a month. Let us be in a spirit of giving, especially during the holidays. There are people that are calling Soul to Soul and Carrie's Touch, and they're in need of certain, whether it's rent or food, not even gifts. Christina said, I am very proud of you, and may God bless you, bless TWT and you with so many more episodes, lives impacted or in touch, and take your ministry further and higher. I love you. I love you too, beloved Reverend Christina Reed. I love you so much. I love all of you. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for for your prayers. Again, Ned and I are still together, so that's another form of celebration. I am on break for treatment because I've been in active treatment for 6 straight years. So I have several months that I'm taking a break and letting my body rest. My PET scan shows no evidence of disease. They're going to watch me closely. So there is, my doctors are on it. I'm blessed to have a great team who cares and puts me first and meets my needs and my concerns. And that's what we need to do for each other. This disease has taught me a lot, and I'll probably end up writing about that as well. How, situations and circumstances that aren't so great can truly teach us powerful lessons. Yes, Tammy. Yay, Ned. Yeah, I love me some Ned. Ned gonna stay with me forever because we gonna rock for a long time with this, living with this diagnosis, surviving and thriving through this diagnosis. And I hope that it encourages you to survive and thrive, whatever you are facing, whatever you are going through. And just remember to always keep Black joy at the forefront of your mind. Joy does not disappear when you're going through challenges. Joy does not go away when you're faced with adversity. Joy is always in the pit of your belly, in the center of your heart, in the back of your mind, and bring that all to the forefront, even in the midst of what you're going through. Like, Christian traditional scriptures may say peace in the midst of the storm, or this joy, we say this joy that I have, the world didn't give and the world can't take away. And seek ye first God and all of God's righteousness, and all other things shall. So we can go on and on about traditional Christian scriptures that are rooted in our African prowess and our African traditional religions. So I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Yes, we need a Ned photo shoot, and I'm actually going to let you know, Tanisha, when I'm coming to New York. I don't know when that's going to happen because there's just a lot going on in my world that I can't unveil right now, but a lot of great things. Tony on the sleigh, let's go. Yes, we need to make it happen because I'm shameful to say that I do not have a recent professional headshot. I'm going to take care of that in January with a group that will be unveiled later. But so Tony, I need to see you. I need to see you. A lot of great things happening in my life. Y'all continue to hold all of us in prayer. Continue to hold up Eric in prayer in Dubai. Things are really coming along nicely. He is doing his thing. And lift up, hey sister, I love you so much. I'm going to call you as soon as I get a chance. I need to hear your voice, and we need to talk about Chicago PD. But continue to lift up my family, my beloved daughter, Eli, Courtney, Ethan, everybody. We are celebrating, and we're using this time this weekend just to celebrate each other. This will be, I believe, if not the first, one of very few times that we haven't all been together for a holiday. So Eric is a little bummed about that. So y'all just speak his name and send him some love on Instagram. Y'all know he may be on Facebook like his name, but he don't do Facebook. So please don't send him a Facebook message cuz don't get mad when you don't get an answer. Oh, my beloved future Dr. Sharon. I love you. Yes, grateful for Black Joy for sure. Absolutely. I know I'm trying to get off this line. I really am, but I'm so excited. This is the 100th episode. I'm excited to give away some gifts. And again, if you're just joining, and you want my ebook, You Are Not My Diagnosis, just put need book in the chat. If you watch this later on Facebook, put need book in the chat. I'll be checking. If you listen to this as a podcast, send me an email, Tawana at thedrtad.com, and I will send you the ebook. This is only for today. So I'll be, oh, and do y'all hear my Eli in the background? So I will send that to you, and those that shared their favorite memory of TWT, you will get a gift. I will send you an electronic gift for sure. Got you, future Dr. Sharon. I got no Dr. Sharon. I don't. That's what you are, because the conversations that we had the other day were absolutely powerful and amazing, and it's still resonating with me. So anyway, I love y'all to the moon and beyond. I love being a Black woman. I love having Black joy. I love having this Black experience with you. This experience that is rooted in Black joy and Black divinity and dignity and hope and grace and mercy and provision and peace and covering. This is what I give to you today on this 100th episode of Tuesdays with Tawana. I am Dr. Tad. I am your host and your curator for Tuesdays with Tawana. I love you dearly, and I'm out. See y'all next Tuesday. Peace.